Hey folks, welcome to another subquery video where I'm going to take a look at reverse lookups. Keen to know more? Well, stick around and I'll show you how it works. Let's jump into our documentation first of all. We're on the left hand side. I'll click on create a project and we'll jump into the GraphQL schema section. Now here on the right hand side, I'm going to jump into reverse lookups. Now in a previous video, I looked at one-to-many relationships where I could query for an entity object such as transfer and access the various fields. But what a reverse lookup allows us to do is to create a virtual field on an entity that can be queried. What this means is that in the example you see here, the transfer from field here can be made available in my account entity object. Here it's called sent transfer and it's linked directly to the from field here. Now the advantage of this is that I can access information such as transfer.from within another object or entity. In this case, the account entity. So still a little confused? Let's jump into the code and I'll give you an actual example. Now what I'll do here is instead of traditionally using the starter project, I'm going to do a git clone from an existing project called tutorials account transfers. This was demonstrated in a previous lesson, so if you've gone through that, great. If not, highly recommend checking this out. Otherwise, of course, you can just do a git clone and start from here. What I want to do first is get this project up and running just to make sure that there are no problems. So now I've got my node running in the background and I've got my playground up and running in the foreground. I'm going to copy just a standard query from the workbook, paste it in here, and you can see I've got some blocks returning. So all is looking good. Now note that we're in the accounts entity object, and at the moment I don't have access to the likes of amount, block number, or to. So this is where the derived function or the reverse lookup can be very useful. What I'm going to do is jump into my schema file and I'm going to create a new field such as my to address. I'll make this of type transfer and I'm going to use, as mentioned, the keyword at derived like so. And I'll specify the field, which is going to link to the to field in my transfer entity object. Let me stop the node first of all. I'll save this file and let's recompile everything. Now I can go ahead and do Docker Compose up, but it actually won't work because if I look at the documentation, looking at the accounts, nodes, you'll see here I've actually still got my ID and I want to see my to address here. So if I go ahead and run Docker Compose up, nothing will change. That's because I actually need to repull the Docker image. And if you're not using Docker but you've got your own local node, you'll have to point to a new database. So let me repull this. Start the node again. And here you can see, after doing a refresh, the my to address has appeared within the account object. So what this means is I can then go inside my nodes. I can then go my to address. And if I actually try and run this, I should get an error because the my to address needs some subfields. So let's provide this nodes. And then it's at this point where I can go ahead and say amount, for instance. So I've got access to the fields inside my transfer entity. So this could be amount, this could be block number, and then my to, this will be my to ID actually. Hit run, and now I've got my accounts object where I've got access to the fields within another entity using a reverse lookup. Because if I didn't have this reverse lookup here, then I wouldn't be able to run this particular query starting from the accounts entity and also extracting fields from the transfer entity. So I'm able to make one query and grab all the information I need, taking advantage of just one single call using GraphQL, as opposed to multiple calls in the likes of using REST APIs. So there you have it. Just a quick recap. You can go ahead and add a reverse lookup on any field you want inside your schema GraphQL file. You use the @derive from keyword on the field that you want to create, and then you can query it from GraphQL. Hope that was useful, and I'll catch you on the next video.